Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning, and welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this April the 15th, 2017. I'm back from Gaston's Resort. A great time up there with about 16 outdoor writers and communicators, and one of the people that we always like to have join us up there is our good friend Jackie Smith. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning. It's good to talk to you.
It is good to talk to you. That means that we're still breathing, both of us, and so
that seems to be a problem for nowadays. When we get people our age, that you always got to take that into account and be thankful for it.
Did you hear what he said? Our age, Frank Barton.
He wasn't talking about me.
He wasn't talking about you, Frank Barton, from the Barton Power Sports in West Memphis and all over the place. Is in there as my co-host, and we always enjoy talking to Jackie, and because this is the time of the year that maybe you want to get out on the water and you want to experience something new. And I'm just amazed, Jackie, that the explosion of small boats, kayaks, whatever it might be, this is something we never dreamed about, but Hobie has always been at the front runner of those things. And I was just talking to Jackie about this, where you get on it and you move your feet and you walk on the water, so to speak, just about.
Yeah, it's an amazing adaptation of the Mirage Drive, and really what these engineers have done is condensed the working mechanism of the Mirage Drive to fit in the width of a paddleboard there, and so all you do is, and they have a big handlebar standing up. You stand up on the thing, and then you push. You grip right hand. You grip the right one, and it goes right, and left it goes left. But it's a very simple thing to do, very easy to do, and they've condensed the Mirage Drive, which is unique in itself. To go right underneath the boat, and it moves it right along.
We've talked about the Mirage Drive before. Hobie Boats is the front runner of this. Explain to our listeners out there a little bit about the Mirage Drive.
Yeah, the Mirage Drive has been out for a while now, but it's one of those devices that when you talk about something that propels a boat like that, you really can't explain it because it's just impossible to explain. You really have to get on it. So if anybody, I would encourage anybody that's interested in a unique way to fish, a very effective way to fish, or to utilize the surfboard aspect of it, to give it a shot. But it's really developed after a pattern after penguins that swim underwater, and the way that they move. And so once you get in, if you can't believe, and if you just look at the boat sitting there, you say, well, there's no way that thing could move, this boat, and this surfboard. But once you get on it, the science of the logistics the science takes over. And it really does work. It works amazingly well and so much fun. As you can see, these guys, and especially on the surfboard, the Mirage Drive, Mirage Drive really works good on that paddleboard because it's so light. It really moves it along.
Well, again, we're talking to Jackie Smith, our good friend with Hobie Boats, and of course, illustrious pro football career. And I know fishing has been close to your heart. Tell our listeners, now you grew up in Louisiana, right?
Right, in Louisiana, and with me and my buddy Charlie and Jimmy and Sheffield and Charlie Sheffield and Jimmy Muse, we had a fun time floating down the Tangipahoa River and the Amite River. That was that's all we did really as far as fishing. And since we were the dairy center of the South, we had plenty of farm ponds around. And so we made ourselves. We were welcome in almost any of the ponds. So it was a great time and a great place to be a young man. It really was.
And now you're associated with Hobie. How did that work out, Jackie?
How did it come about?
Yeah, how did you and why Hobie Boats? I think you have told me before that you're not going to put your name on something unless you believe in it. And
well, I did. My name was not so much on there, but I did. I was part of getting it started.
Yeah.
The Mirage Drive came out quite a while ago, and it was invented by one one of the guys that came with Hobie, and my buddy owns Hobie.
Uh-huh.
So he showed me this thing. Said, "Well, look at this thing. Take a look at this thing." So I went to his house. He had a model over there of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got it. Long story short, I said, "Can I keep this thing for a while?" So I kept it for a while. I tried to modify the boat and all that, and it sunk it a few times and that sort of thing. But I finally said, long story short, I think this thing would be they asked me one day, because I said, the bit fishing out of it would be a great fishing boat. They finally said, "Do you really think this will work?" I said, "Absolutely, it'll work." I said, "This is ideal for the types of fishing, especially that I've done in ponds, and rivers, and big bodies of water, whatever." I said, "Absolutely, it'll work. It goes fast. It's efficient. It's quiet. It's quiet.
It's quiet.
It's portable." I said, all the good stuff.
Well, I'm amazed sometimes. There are kayak tournaments now. There's circuits and things like that, and they've made these boats so they're sleek and fast and things like that. There was like 300 kayaks up at Kentucky Lake here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. Everybody's trying to get something to compete with our Mirage Drive.
That's right.
They can't do that, and we've now modified the boat, modified the drive, so that it makes it even harder to do that as far as the patent is concerned, especially because now we have one that goes in reverse. All you have to do is there's two little cords right there in front of you, and if you pull one and go back and pull the other, it goes forward. So it really was a tough thing to engineer, but we finally got it done, and it adds so much more to the fishing experience when you have that.
And we're in a prime year. You can go to Hobie Boats. Hobby Boats, just right there, and get the information. Frank's been looking at them and looking at the photographs of them at.
I had a Hobie 16 for a long time.
Oh, you had a Hobie 16 for a long time?
I had a Hobie 16.
Oh, you were a sailor, huh? Well, good for you.
Yeah,
I've heard so many people say that over the years. The Hobie 16 and the history of that Hobie is really interesting. But yeah, everybody remembers that. And the way that came about is that Hobie Alter he was a surfer. And it got a little bit chilly out there in California, and so he decided to figure out something else to do in the wintertime, so to speak, out there. So they came up with the sailboats, and so that's how that all came about. But
wow.
Now so most of all that with Hobie sailboats and surfboards are on the edges of the United States and the coastal areas. But our boats now are moving into the central part of the United States because of the fishing. That's where most of the fishing is. They really utilize our boats. So we're developing dealers, and it's coming on strong. And we really, at the situation now, we really have a tough time keeping up with the demand. So we're really happy about that.
And again, we're talking to our good friend Jackie Smith. And in the closing minutes here, Jackie, I've got to ask you, what's your thoughts on St. Louis not having a pro football team?
Well, nobody's happy about it. I think they got their lips run out and trying to get mad at the league. And I just saw a thing come across yesterday on television. I think I couldn't see it, but couldn't hear it. But it's something about St. Louis might sue the NFL for taking the team away. So I don't know. So there's a lot going on with that, but there's really nothing that any of us can do. These guys are going where they make the most money, and St. Louis, I think, has probably fell behind in that category. Yeah, and so they move on to bigger and better things,
So what was the most money you made in the NFL?
Oh, I think around 65, I think, but not, and was about it.
But what did you sign for? What was that bonus you signed for?
Oh, when I signed, I was a 10th round draft choice in 1963, and I made an $11,000 contract and a $1,000 bonus, and I said, "Man, you guys are crazy to pay me this much money to play football. This is crazy."
And how many years did you play?
I played 16 years.
16 years. That's amazing. And you're still vertical. I mean, that's pretty amazing right there. Most of the time.
Yeah, it is. Well, the average life is about 3 or 4 years, and so I was pretty lucky to to hang in there that long.
Hang in there, and that's the amazing part right there, because I know that times have changed, and me and Jackie, I think he's about 20 years older than me. I think something like that. And did you know that I used to be the same size as Jackie Smith when I was in high school? Look what's happened to me after all these years.
Well, evidently they didn't plant you in the same kind of ground there.
No. The bad part is that my mouth has remained the same. That's what most people say. Like that. Frank's not saying anything over there and everything like that. Hey, Jackie, thank you.
I'm not going to add anything.
No,
to this
don't add
conversation.
anything, because
that's a good idea, Frank.
yeah, that's good, Frank. Just be quiet over there and let Jackie handle it and everything. All right, Dan, we appreciate you, buddy. Always good to talk to you. Hope everything's going all right for you, and we'll stay in touch, and appreciate your friendship, okay?
Well, so do I, and it's always wonderful to talk to you and visit with you, so stay in touch.
Okay, Jackie. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Jackie.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Right. Legendary Jackie Smith, and 16 years at the NFL in that era. Can you imagine that?
That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. And, we can get into all sorts of discussions, but to see Jackie in one of those Mirage Drive boats, and he said his buddy owned Hobie boats. That's how come out there, Jackie, and help me out here, so that's something else. All right, let's take a break, come back, switch gears a little bit, talk about scent lock. Now, I know as a duck hunter, you don't really need scent lock. But I've seen.
But I'll wear it when I deer hunt.
You wear it in your deer hunt. That's right. All right, we'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Frank Barton's in house. Greg Ratliff taking care of us on ESPN 790.
You can find out